Hi everyone, it's Sunday, April 7th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. Starting with the United States again this week, sellers said the week did not live up to their hopes from the perspective of volume as well as prices. Some said that they did not clear the week's production. With regard to prices, most selections were lower, anywhere from $1 to several dollars. One or two selections were able to hold price levels relatively steady, partly due to limited supplies. Heavy Texas steers, in particular, have been struggling, and while more trading was reported this week, prices were significantly lower and in a wider spread. Sales were reported as high as $30, steady with the previous week's selling range, and as low as $32 delivered, which generally calculates back to $26 FOB. For the second week in a row, export sales were higher than slaughter, but the level of shipments was below. And in this week's report, we take a closer look at the monthly averages for all of those things for March as well as for the first quarter of the year. In our market observations, we take a look at the hide market and how it has changed and what some of the major shifts are that are driving the evolution of the market. Turning to Europe, our editor Andrea Guolo says that the bull market remains weak, and while some origins are seeing interest, there's a full list of others that have no interest. With regard to cows, the price situation is tenuous because of declining demand in a number of sectors. Andrea notes that the veal skin market is seeing some concerning shifts, and he details what's causing that in his report. He also reminds us that the new harvest season is coming for lamb and sheep, and he lays out the prospects for the next few months for these skins. In his analysis, Andrea presents the forecast for the rest of the month. He takes a detailed look at European slaughter for the medium term and summarizes what went on at the World Footwear Congress in Naples last week. Turning to Latin America, editor Ronald Guiel says that while the price for Brazilian TR1 remains unchanged around 60 cents, there were changes in the fresh hide market. He also discusses the wet blue split market and takes a look at leather exports from Brazil for March. In other news from Brazil, our items include news that March beef exports dropped 4%, and a story on a number of organizations in the sector that have collaborated to make a video about the Russian children's fashion and footwear market in order to help exporting companies. From elsewhere in Latin America, we have news from Argentina about a resolution that relaxes controls over hide exports. And from Mexico, there's an item about the delays being seen for the trucking transportation into the U.S. due to changes at the border, and that is affecting the leather sector as well. One little tidbit from our latest international report this week is about China's hide imports in February, both in total and specifically from the United States. If you want to know more about those, check out the international report. That's all we have for today, and until next week, good night from HideNet.